What's up, guys? Tommy T here and my beautiful wife, Artieka T. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the August Love Story podcast. Today, we're actually talking about toxic faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's toxic faith and like our thoughts about it and everything like that. I don't really have a good intro for that, but that's what we're talking about today. But before we get started, man, we want to make sure you guys are liking the YouTube channel if you're looking at it on YouTube, and also subscribing to the YouTube channel, as well as subscribing to the podcast on all podcast platforms. We want you to do that just to keep up with what we have going on, and whenever new things drop, you guys will be the first ones to find out about it. So there we have it there. So let's get into it.
So somebody in our comment section on our YouTube channel actually was who gave us toxic faith as a topic. I don't think they knew that they were giving it as a topic. But essentially, for those of you guys that don't know, we just wrapped up reviewing the most recent season of Married at First Sight. And one of the people on the show has what we would consider toxic faith. And so I Googled, got a definition. And the definition, or toxic faith defined, says when religion becomes a means to avoid or control your life, it becomes toxic. Those who possess a toxic faith have stepped across the line from a balanced perspective of God to an unbalanced faith in a weak, powerless, or uncaring God. They seek a God to fix every mess, prevent every hurt, and mend every conflict. So, give you guys a little bit of backstory. Young lady on this show essentially just kept going back to a toxic relationship because she said that she felt like God placed her there on this show to get married at first sight. And, you know, this was her calling, was to become a wife, and she wanted to do that. And I felt, I don't want to say strongly, like I had a strong reaction to her consistently saying that. And I remembered a sermon once upon a time that they talked about long suffering. Yeah. And we don't understand the definition of long suffering. And I was like, that's it. She doesn't get the definition of why she has to suffer in some things, but like she was trying to like make the entire suffering of this relationship a religious aspect. Mm-hmm. Like, she found out that this guy had a child on the way, and she's like, I will stand by my man. All right. I can get with you on that one. He didn't cheat on you to make this baby. I can get with you on that one. But then like he tells her that she's unattractive to her face. On her wedding day, he said that to her friends. And then multiple times back to back, it was like, hey, by the way, I know I had sex with you, but I really don't think that you're cute. And I was like, this is like a classic textbook case of toxicity covered in faith. Yeah. It's like my faith is leading me to believe that I am supposed to be with you. Yeah. And you're the guy for me. And no matter what you do to me, God has ordained these steps and we supposed to be together.
But I'm in total agreement with you, but it's more common than not of a toxic faith. And I say that because it's something I went through, and it's something that I feel like we're taught. Mm-hmm. We're taught that God is going to show us what it is that we should have. What's the saying? He won't put more
on you than you can bear.
And like me personally, I take that, take that to heart or whatnot. But people,
use the exact literal definition of that,
right? But it's like I feel like sometimes we use it, and we think about the situation that we're in, and then like it's what perpetrates us to or propels us to like keep going in this bad situation. Mm-hmm. I don't want to just pick on that one situation or that one.
Well, that was just how we got to the toxic faith.
Yeah, but it's like I just choose from my own experience with a toxic faith or my toxic faith. It's just a situation where like I believed that we have to go through this just to come out on top, just to like we have to go through something to overcome something. Mm-hmm. And you're coming through like situations, and that's what happens in the Bible.
The interesting thing though is that I feel like that is fed more to women, or I shouldn't say women, to girls, than it is to boys. Or I should say the female or the female gender.
But I don't feel that way.
I feel like it's fed, I'm saying on the relationship front. Yeah. I feel like it's fed more to us in that regard because we're always told that no matter what a man does that we're with, we need to stand by him.
Well, I get you on that point. But I also feel like it's not talked about enough, like relationships, period. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the Bible and your faith. And the church and your faith. Because what we're doing, and the reason why we misconstrue the message on faith and God putting you in situations and God ordaining things and God being of the situation that you're in, everything you're taught, God controls everything that you have.
Right.
Or every situation that you're in, he already knew. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, God wanted me here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So,
we forget about that thing called free will.
Right. We do forget about free will, but it's like God put me here. So it got to be something out of it. But the thing about it is it's you, like you said, we forget about free will, but also we apply that to every aspect of our life. God put me here, so it got to be something out of here. Mm-hmm. But the only aspect in our lives, our relationships, that I don't feel like it applies because, you guys life happens,
right?
Around you, but you have to be in it. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing about it. You have to actually be in it. You have to like the decisions that you make. You have to like make the actual decisions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like when it comes to the toxic faith and everything like that, or you're thinking inside of this relationship, because you may think the person is really pretty. You may think that you shouldn't even be here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is to keep you in this relationship. I hate it when, like now I hate it, but when I was doing it, it was like I didn't understand it. Mm-hmm. Seeing it helped me understand where I did it, but just when you're in that situation or when you're in that relationship and you're like, God wants me here. God wants me here. You never ask, why does God want me here?
No, because you're not supposed to question God.
Yeah, like I always, right, exactly. I always ask, what's the lesson?
Right.
Why do what
was I supposed to learn from being in this situation?
Right, exactly.
But a lot of people look at that, trying to figure out the lesson as questioning the divine.
Yeah.
And I guess that's something that we have to get comfortable with in ourselves, because everything isn't looked at as questioning God because you're asking a question. Mm-hmm. It's sometimes you just like, look, show me what it is that you're trying to get me to learn from this situation, because I'm obviously not seeing it.
Right.
So help me. Help me help you.
Right. It's like I'm with you. It's not about questioning why I'm here. Mm-hmm. It's what am I getting out of this? That's the free will part that we forget about. Mm-hmm. The decisions that we have to make, because those decisions are based on us.
Right.
God's just putting us in the right place to make it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And so it's I felt bad for her, for Paige or whatnot. Mm-hmm. like I said, it made me go back and think about like the toxic faith parts of my life, you know, where I put everything that's bad happened in that one particular relationship. I put that on God. God didn't deserve me putting those bad things on him, you know, at all.
You right.
At all. Because it's like you don't have to, that's the thing. You don't have to go through things that bad. Like I tell, like me and when we talk about situations and stuff like that, I always be like, it's not the relationship that's hard. It's life around the relationship what's hard.
Yeah, it's kind of like the aspect of vacation, right? Everything is great on vacation because real life isn't hitting you. If you plan for that vacation correctly,
man, yes.
I'd say if you plan for it correctly, because vacation life can't hit you hard if you forgot that you had a bill on auto pay and you was planning on using that money to go do something.
Oh man!
But if you've planned for this vacation, like take it as an all-inclusive resort in your favorite country in the Caribbean, and you there for 7 days. The only thing that could possibly go wrong if you plan this vacation right is rain.
Yeah.
And that even won't put a damper on your day in paradise.
No.
You just be like, well, I guess we gonna eat.
Right.
We're just not gonna go outside and do any water activities. Like you made sure it wasn't hurricane season. Like you got all your ducks in a row. But in real life, not vacation life, there's always something around the corner. Whether it be something as simple, and this hasn't gotten our family down, obviously, but something as simple as your car getting a flat tire. That could throw somebody's whole like week off in the regards of getting back and forth to work. So you have to look at small things and try to, I don't want to say interpret the message, because sometimes it's just you shouldn't have been driving on that street. Yeah. Or sometimes it's just like, hey, stuff happens.
Yeah.
Have insurance on the tire and it'll be a little bit more, it'll be a little bit easier to get around that thing. Like it won't mentally take you down. But that's just, you know, things that we have to look at and happen. And I felt like taking it back to the initial couple that we were talking about, I felt like a lot of hers was, this is just circumstantial. It's okay. It's something that I can work through. But she wasn't having somebody work through those things with her.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I was just reading the definition over again. And it was like, it gets to the point to where you are, let me verbatim it real quick.
Read it verbatim.
Those who possess a toxic faith have stepped across the line from a balanced perspective of God to an unbalanced faith in a weak, powerless, or uncaring God. And so I looked at that part, the powerless part, because we believe in God, like our faith, because everybody believes in something. You know what I'm saying? Should. Or, you know, they believe in something. They may believe that there's no God, but that's a belief.
Yeah.
So regardless of anything, everybody believes in something. So what we believe in, we believe that there is a God. You know, we do believe that or whatnot. But for it to become a powerless God, you start to remove those things that God placed you with. Like you're in a situation, knew about it, but what it is that what you learn from the Bible, you learn about those morals. Like morally, this is right. Morally, this is how you should make your decisions. You know, with the 10 Commandments. You know, those are the rules that you live by. You know, this is how you treat people. This is what you do and don't do, and decisions that you make and don't make, you know, and stuff like that. But it's all just your interpretation of how you're going to react to situations. What do you have to take? What you don't have to take? That's why a lot of people have, like with the Married at First Sight, a lot of people had issues with it or have issues with it because of marriage and how they view marriage.
Right.
You know, some people, it's just the interpretation of it. It's just how you view it and everything like that. So, I mean, it's like I said before, it's common. It's more common than you would think it is. Just because I feel like, just thinking about it just now, I feel like more so when you're a child, you're taught about the Bible and things and the way you should be making decisions and how God is the head of your life or whatnot. But then when it comes to a relationship, only thing you know is you're not supposed to have sex.
Oh yeah, we do a terrible job of preparing young people for marriage. Like when we, especially, and that's gonna be a whole nother episode on another day.
There it is. We gotta preparing.
But when you look at church in general as a collective, it's only been taught don't have sex until you get married. But then when you get married as a woman, I can say, and it was obviously, it was something that was mentioned before I got married. But before you, like when you get married, a lot of the focus is make sure that you having sex with your husband so he don't go have sex with somebody else. And it's like, this all we got for each other is.
But I mean, like that's some good advice. Because I feel like I don't feel like you should.
Me having sex with you is not going to stop you from having sex with somebody else.
But I'm just saying it's like, I don't know how to explain it.
Directly telling me to have sex with you so you don't have sex with somebody else is the problem.
Well, I get that's the problem.
That's the problem. I'm not talking about sex between a man and wife. I'm talking about in general. That sentence is the problem.
I guess it's like the way I think about it is it's like, ideally, you have sex with them. Like, just make sure y'all having that conversation. Make sure it's not a taboo thing. No.
And I completely get that part of it. But what we are taught as girls and as young women is have sex with your husband so that he does not do it with someone else. That's flawed logic.
Yeah, because some people just
want to have sex with anything. It's just like, I just don't think that we touch on things correctly until you get into marital type retreats and stuff like that, where people can really like, and then even that, when you do it in a church setting, it all becomes a little foggy.
Well, it just depends on who you go with.
Well, I mean, I'm saying like when you get into a church setting, usually people are still not saying things because they don't want folks in their business. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like it becomes a little foggy because we talk about marriage as an idealistic thing and not the issues that are at hand in your marriage.
Like I tell people all the time, man, like any chance I get, like this podcast helps me out so much because I'm able to be 100% with you. Like on whatever we're talking about, what bothers me, what don't bother me, I'm able to be 100%.
It's just this podcast?
No, I mean, like, no, it's not just this podcast.
You don't bite your tongue in life.
No, it's not just this podcast, but it'd be like specific things. Like we pick topics based off of things that have happened to us or around us, you know? And so it's like, you know, just going through different things, and I'm able to really just express my thoughts and stuff with you. And then, like, when people comment or ask us questions or, you know, whatever they do, it allows us to have a dialogue with it.
Right.
And then allows us to be truthful with them. And then they give us advice.
Absolutely.
So it's like, man, I appreciate the whole idea of it because I strongly believe for families to succeed, they need a village. And if you can't find a village around you, you have to go find a village wherever you can. With access that we have now, it's like the village can be as big as you need it to be.
You can create it anywhere.
Right. So, I mean, but to piggyback off of what you were saying, that like, I completely forgot what you said.
The things that are taught to women.
Oh, yeah. It's the about the sex thing, about having the sex. The sex.
I was about to say that.
Having the sex with your husband. I mean, like it's bad. It's bad advice, but I don't think it's bad advice, but it needs to be like, you can't just say that.
No,
You know
I think
saying?
that we have to get into a space of real conversation, but then you also have to meet people where they are. And I think that that's where churches need to have more defined, like small group session type things, because like churches that we have gone to in the past, and I don't mean together, but like separately. Yeah. I'm assuming on your side, but I can say for a fact on mine, is that you have kids Bible study, youth Bible study, and then young adult Bible study is almost non-existent because we're not showing up. Nah. And then
because we're going to went through kids and youth. Like, I'm falling from the tree at young adult.
And then you go into they divide up once you become adults to men's ministry, women's ministry, and then the singers.
But that's how it
I feel like this gonna be a tangent of how to get the young adults back into the church.
I don't know how we started talking about that, but
I don't either. I'm gonna pass on the rest of that conversation because don't nobody call me for no ideas.
Man. Now, you right, but I don't know, man.
It's just when you get to the point of your life where you need to hear something beyond abstain from sex. You're not getting it because it's like there's no place for you there.
Right.
And I think that that's what the issue is, is that there is no place for you there. Like I remember in college we never went to Bible study, obviously, but what was the church called? Freedom in Knoxville. Yeah. Like they pulled the college kids in because they fed us every Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, you do what you can to get them there.
But it was like there was nothing else to like pull us into the small groups.
Yeah.
And things like that. Like we had friends that were involved in the choir and other things in the church, but it's like a lot of churches don't do the job of putting something in place to get that middle ground where essentially that's the age that you leave church.
But then, okay, but I'm glad you said that. That's where, because I'm trying to get us back on the topic, topic of the toxic faith.
Wrap it up.
Yeah. But I think that's where it gets confusing for a lot of people. Just because life changes for those people.
Right.
And they're still trying to apply their foundation of belief,
right,
in a situation that like really has to like, your foundation is there, so you're gonna base your decisions off of a certain set of rules and expectations, but you really got to look at a situation and make a real good decision about the trajectory of where you're trying to go. And a lot of people don't look at it that way. They're just looking at it I was put in this situation to be a part of this situation. Let me see it through. Let me, work through this because on the other side, it's going to be great. And specifically in relationships, once I get past the cheating, once I get past the abuse, the verbal abuse, the physical abuse, or whatever is going on, it's
gonna all be peaches and cream.
Right. It's
gonna all be peaches and cream, and we're gonna live happily ever after.
Right. Like, no, like it's still gonna continue to happen until something changes, until you do something different.
Right.
So like I say, man, toxic faith is a thing that is more common than not. I feel like it's based off of a belief. It's based off of the belief from when we were young, when the conversation was different about what you were learning from the Bible.
Right.
And then, you have this, you have to mature in what you learned and then understand how to interpret what you learned and apply it to the situation and the relationship in this case, that you're in. And then like it grows and grows and grows because once you become married, it changes again. Because now you have to think about, okay, Now I'm in a different situation. I'm not just saying this is my girlfriend or this is my boyfriend. This is my wife. This is my husband. Now you get into another situation of the whole old rule of submission.
Whatever that means.
Right. That's a whole different ball, like a whole different thing that you're talking about now. So it's it's just how you apply things and how you interpret things, because you got to believe that, like, your main focus is God is the head of my life, or whatever you believe is ahead of your life. And that's where you get everything from. So there you have it, man. That's my thoughts. You got anything else on it?
It's wrapped up in a bow.
I think we beat it enough.
For today.
Yeah. Do we have a listener letter for today?
We absolutely do. Please send your listener letters to ouraugustlovestory@gmail.com, and it may just get read on the show. So today says, I need some advice. My husband and his mom are not on speaking terms, and I usually go see her and hang out with her. Today, the two of us were sitting down and making plans on what to get one of our kids for their birthday. And my husband freaked out on me and said he doesn't like that I have relationships with certain family members that he doesn't want to have relationships with anymore. And he thinks that I'm keeping these people in his life and he wants them out. How do I even respond to this? I'm at a loss for words. And she gave a little footnote that just said his mother was an alcoholic when he was younger, and that put a huge strain on their relationship.
I get that. You want people away from your life and stuff like that. Just stop including. For the wife? Yeah, for the wife. Just stop including things that he's doing. Like, I mean, she didn't like. I feel like, me personally, I would never tell you to not have a relationship with a person in my family. Now, if I don't deal with that person, you would know. You know what I'm saying? But their family, and I feel different about family. But most of the time, if I don't deal with a person in my family outside of my mom and my dad. But if I don't deal with a person in my family, most of the time you're not going to deal with that person. Now, if
I can't think of anyone in your family that I don't deal with.
That's what I'm saying. It's I can't think of anybody that
I'm just like, no.
But it's like, just think about it. If I don't go around that person or I may introduce you to that person once, and if that's a person that I don't too much deal with, where are you going to have this relationship with this person if we don't see this person, if we don't, you know what I'm saying? But with my mom, if I didn't have a relationship with my mom or something like that, or, this, like, who my mom is, that's on you, because that's my mom. I may not deal with my mom, but that's okay for you too. We have children, that's their grandmama. Right. They have to make that decision, so I don't think, I would never tell you not to like, I think that's wrong of her husband to put her in a predicament like that, to have to make a choice between his mom or him.
I choose myself.
Right. But like, I would say, like, hey, look, I have a relationship with your mom. I enjoy it. And what I would do going forward is I just won't include you. And I would talk to him about it, and that's what we'll go with.
So I'm going to pull this situation from husband and wife, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it still includes a husband and wife, what I'm about to throw out there, but I'm not the spouse. So I have a family member who is estranged from his wife. I still have a very great relationship with his wife, and I just got to the point in the dynamic where I talk to her, but I do not talk about him. And when I talk to him, I do not talk about her. It's really easy that way for me.
Yeah.
I literally And it's not even like I have to try to not bring up the other person. Like there's just nothing that we talk about that overlaps the other person, right? So since there's nothing that we talk about that overlaps this other person, it's really easy for me to not have to deal with the conversation. So it's just with that, find a middle ground. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. Find a middle ground of where his mother, I don't want you to feel like you're hiding something from him, but just find a way that you and his mom conversations just don't come up at all. Like now it's difficult with the grandkids because you guys do have kids. So the kids are going to know something about their grandmother. They know that their grandmother exists and things like that. And you guys are going to have to come to agree to disagree about the kids and them knowing their grandparent, because I think it's wrong unless the grandparent has abused someone. And I mean, it doesn't sound like he had any physical abuse, but he did have emotional abuse. You just make sure that your kids don't have to go through any emotional abuse with their grandmother, and you keep her at a distance. That way it's going to be hard to like keep the kids from talking about we went to go see grandma. But as far as just your relationship with her, like nip that in the bud. Like we don't talk. I'm not talking about him to you.
Right.
I'm not talking about her to you. Middle ground, like let's just, we can talk about cousin Pat to both of y'all, but I'm not talking about y'all to each other at all, ever. Not even, you don't have a mama when I'm talking to you. Because it's, in my opinion, it's easier that way.
And that's what I meant. You know, just like don't include.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way to go.
Easiest thing I can think of. Let us know how that works out. Yeah. I guess that's the conversation that you're going to have with him about how to deal with the kids when it comes to his mom. But it sounds like he don't want any communication with his mama. So you're going to have to find a fine line to walk.
I just think it's one of those things. He's just going to have to, like, I just want to include you. But let him know, hey, I'm not finna stop talking to your mom because I enjoy your mom. Mm-hmm. And, you know.
Obviously, she's changed in some capacity.
Right, in some capacity, or y'all because just...
The reason I say she had to have changed is because she was an alcoholic when he was younger. Yeah. And this wife knows his mom. So there has to have been some development.
Exactly. So, I mean, you know, just have a conversation and tell them what's on your mind. Mm-hmm. Hey, so what's the quote for the episode?
This also feels a little bit sacrilegious because I didn't pick a gospel artist. We was all talking about faith and stuff. Yeah. But
hey man.
He know my heart. Yeah. So I Googled Atlanta legends, right? Yeah. Because I was like, I haven't listened to any music in the last week or so. And so I picked the Yin Yang Twins and their song with Mike Jones. So you got a Houston legend and an Atlanta legend. So the song that I picked was Bad. And the chorus just goes, I'm looking for a dime that's top of the line. Cute face, slim waist with a big behind.
I'm singing that song in my head. Anyway, there you have it, guys. We're talking about toxic faith today. Let us know in the comments or, you know, shoot us a DM or whatever. Let us know your thoughts about toxic faith. Like I said at the beginning, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to our channel. So make sure you subscribe, hit the subscribe button on whatever platforms that you listen to podcasts on. I personally listen to what would like the ones that I know for a fact we're on all of them, but you know, Spotify, Deezer, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to them. I said Spotify.
I'm saying like I was just saying for me, that's where I listen.
Oh, okay. Also YouTube, this is on YouTube as well, so check it out. If you haven't subscribed to that channel, August Love Story on YouTube. Yeah. What else I got? Oh, follow us on Instagram at August Love Story. Individually, I am Tommy T the third. You got at Artieka. Hers is so simple. It's cute. What else you got?
My mama just gave me a name like that.
It's cool. What else you got?
That's it.
That's it?
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you once again for listening. I'm out. Peace.
Bye.